Hello everybody, I am behind the camera right now because I'm going to give you a quick look at my garden. You don't need to see me in this video. This is going to be a quick garden tour. This is for Chris because you've been doing your garden videos and I've really been enjoying them. I'll show you my garden. So this is the wide shot of my garden in my backyard. Please excuse the compost pile. Yeah. The idea is to eventually have my entire backyard be garden beds, and that'll happen eventually. I have space like right here for probably one more bed, and then I'll do something with the side that's on the fence, and then on the other side of the driveway I will do something over there eventually. I just don't know what yet. Oh, and I'm starting on the patio, and this is my herb flower planter. Let me go around the other side actually. When I do this, please excuse all the massive weeds because it's been so rainy and hot here. I haven't caught up on the weeding yet. You're gonna see I have an entire garden path that's just covered. So what I have over here, I have, oh, this is Bermuda grass, this nasty stuff. So I've got a little bit of parsley here. These flowers are calendula, and sorry about the mowing sound in the background. I bought these because they're supposed to repel some sort of pest, and I never actually planted them in the garden, so I planted my extra seed out here. And hidden way back here, I need to give it some more room. That is my tiny little rosemary plant because I had a really beautiful rosemary plant last year, but it did not survive the winter. But it gets so much bigger when you plant it outside versus a pot inside. And this is the oregano. It just exploded this year. It did nothing last year when I planted it, and this year, oh, bug. Sorry. It's doing amazingly. It's like 4 times the size it was last year. This is the thyme, which until yesterday it was squashed. You can see it's like flat. It was squashed by the sage over here. And this is also doing really well. It's a lot bigger than it was last year. This is the sage. I cut it way back. It had tons of old flowers on it and it was like twice the size it is now. I love the smell of sage. I'm trying to dry some this year and make rub sage. We'll see if that works. And this thing, which is very unruly, these are, actually there are 2 plants in here. This is tarragon. It does really well here, but I never use tarragon in anything. I don't really like the way it tastes in most things. It's kind of licorice-y, I guess, but it grows so well. It helps squash the Bermuda grass. And this is, I don't remember what this is called. It's a flower. A spotted lily? Oh, blackberry lilies. They're blackberry lilies. And I've got like 3. I transplanted them from my parents' house. They've got a bunch in the backyard. They're really pretty. They're kind of drying up now, but they're really pretty. And that mess right there is Bermuda grass. Don't look at that. Okay. This is my onion bed. Can you see them down there? I've got Bermuda grass in here too, but I've got some pretty nice looking onions. These are on this side of the bed. It's a mix of a yellow of Parma and gold princess. And then if you look at these really like spiky ones, these are not bulbous onions. These are Heshiko bunching onions, which I believe you can treat kind of like scallions or green onions. And I need to pull one of those up today and take a look at it. It's the same thing that's over here. These are all Heshiko bunching onions. I couldn't get a lot of the gold princess to sprout this year. My seeds just did nothing, but the Heshiko went crazy, so I planted all of the little seedlings that survived, and now I'm overrun. So, and on the far side I have 6 bell pepper plants. These are California Wonder. They're all the same. I planted these last year and they did really, really well, and you can't really see, but they have tiny, tiny little buds on them now, so we get some flowers and then some little bell peppers. And more weeds. These tomatoes, I will be, you can see my tomatoes here and over there. Oh, and there's a seventh, yeah, a 7th one over there. I need to get out today and tie them up on my trellis. These are Opalka. They're very wispy. They just branch out like crazy, but they're not very strong. They start to fall over, so they just branch like crazy. And they're actually a really great paste tomato. I'm growing 2 this year. I only grew 1 last year, and yeah, I really like them. If you like to grow tomatoes to make like sauce, then I recommend these. I used to grow just Roma tomatoes, which are also a pretty standard paste-like tomato. They don't have a lot of seeds or juice in them, but these are big and a little bit better. So I should probably stand on the other side, shouldn't I? This is a Martino Roma, and that is a plain old Roma. I don't think there's actually a difference, but I got a seed from the same company and they labeled them different things, so they think there's a different reason. Oh, and these are marigolds that my mom gave me, and that's a stray basil plant. I've got basil planted in this corner, and I've also got it planted in the corner of the other bed. This tomato is my extra. I had some seed that's labeled as Rutgers, but it's not actually Rutgers, and I used it up and I got one of these. This is my tiny little zucchini plant. I had zucchini and another kaboka planted and they died, so I'm replanting them. This used to be my spinach bed, so it's still got stuff in it. So it's I got 2 kaboka squash plants in here. I'm trying for the 3rd or 4th time to grow squash. We'll see if I beat the squash bugs. I'm gonna try looking for their eggs on the leaves and getting it off with packing tape, and just being really diligent about that. Try to keep the population down, because the first year I tried to grow kaboka, I had beautiful squash and they almost all died overnight when they got eaten by the squash bugs. So these are my garlic beds. I don't remember which is which, unfortunately. One of these is a purple German variety, and the other one, maybe this one, is my family's variety. My parents were gifted a type of garlic like maybe 20 years ago, and they've been growing it ever since then. And you know, if you keep growing the same thing over and over again in your own area, in your own conditions, it kind of becomes a new variety, and it works a lot better with like your soil and everything. So that's what I'm growing. It grows really well here. I thought that garlic would be very difficult to grow, but it's one of those fantastic, you put it in the ground and you never touch it again types of things. It's really, really easy. And these are getting a little bit yellow. Traditionally, you harvest garlic around 4th of July. So in another week or 2, I will pull it up and let it dry, and I will probably pull up the onions from over there at the same time. Hopefully they're big enough by then. More weeds! More marigolds down there. And these 2 tomatoes are my black brandywine. I've never grown brandywine. Brandywine is probably the most famous heirloom tomato, I think. It's supposed to have a really fantastic flavor. And I've never grown just plain old Brandywine, but every year I like to pick a tomato variety or color that I've never grown before. And this was in the purple or black section of the seed catalog, and I thought, hey, black Brandywine. I'm really interested in seeing what they're going to look like. And more basil, because you can never have enough basil. And that's it. That's basically it. That's my garden. So when the squash is done with, and the zucchini and that other tomato, those two beds right there are, or the garlic beds, I should say, will be planted with a fall crop of green beans. I grow Provider green beans. They do really well. And I plant them in the fall because for some reason green beans do better here in the fall. I don't know if it's because the pests aren't as bad, it's too late in the year for them, but they seem to do really well and get more, you just get a better yield than when you plant them earlier in the year. And whenever I've tried to plant green beans early in the year, they die. They die on me because I don't have a green thumb. And I'll have some extra beds as well because obviously when the onions are harvested, that'll leave some room. And I'll probably do more spinach or a late crop of squash. I have a, what's it called, a lemon squash, I think. I don't know anything about it. I got it as a free gift from the seed place, and I want to plant that. See if I can squash out any more of the Bermuda grass. So yeah, that's my garden, and let me know how your garden is if you have one. I will talk to you guys again later. Bye.